Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Learn English 365 Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Laura Evans, and she is an architect. Hi, Laura. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you, too. Let's start with something simple. When you were a child, did you always want to be an architect?
Not always. When I was very little, I liked to draw houses and trees. I used to sit by the window and sketch my dream house with a red roof and a big garden. My parents used to laugh and say, "Maybe you'll build it one day."
That's adorable. So you liked drawing from the beginning?
Yes, I loved colors, shapes, and buildings. Whenever we visited a new city, I looked at the buildings more than anything else. I didn't know the word architecture, but I knew I liked design.
That's a great way to describe it. So, when did you first learn what an architect really does?
I think it was in primary school. My art teacher once said, "Laura, your drawings look like real houses. Maybe you'll be an architect." That was the first time I heard that word seriously. I went home and told my parents, "I want to be an architect."
That's a sweet story. How did your parents react?
They smiled and said, "That sounds wonderful." But they didn't really understand what architects do. They thought it was just drawing pretty houses.
Many people think that at first.
Yes. Later, I learned that architecture is not only about beauty, but also about solving problems, how people live, how they move, how they feel in a space. That's when I started to dream about it seriously.
That's a beautiful thought, Laura. You were already thinking like an architect even as a child.
Maybe. I remember building small houses with boxes and paper. I used tape, scissors, and colored pencils. I spent hours creating little cities on the floor.
That sounds amazing. So you always had that creative side.
Yes. Creativity was my favorite part of childhood. I wasn't very good at sports, but I could spend all day drawing. My friends would play outside, and I would stay home with my pencils.
I think that's how passion begins, doing something you love without even realizing it.
Exactly. And I think children show their future interests in small ways. For me, it was sketching houses and rearranging my room furniture all the time.
I can imagine that. So even then, you were designing spaces.
Yes. I used to change where the bed or the desk was almost every week. My mom said, "Laura, you are turning our home into your project."
That's such a wonderful start. It sounds like your curiosity and imagination were already shaping your future career.
Yes, I think so. Looking back, I realized those small things were the beginning of everything.
That's inspiring. Thank you for sharing your childhood memories with us, Laura.
My pleasure, Ryan.
Laura, in our last part, you told us about your childhood dreams and how you started drawing houses. I'm curious, what did your family think when you said, "I want to be an architect"?
My parents were very kind. They didn't really understand what architects do, but they always supported me. My mom said, "If that makes you happy, go for it." My dad was more practical. He asked, "Can you find a good job with that?"
That sounds familiar. Many parents worry about that.
Yes, he just wanted me to have a stable life. But both of them saw that I was serious. I used to show them my sketches every week. They would smile and say, "Wow, you're getting better."
That must have felt nice.
It really did. Their support gave me confidence. Sometimes I doubted myself, but hearing their words made me believe that maybe I could really do it.
That's beautiful. Did anyone else in your family inspire you?
Actually, yes. My uncle was a builder. He worked in construction. When I visited his sites, I watched how workers built walls and roofs. I remember the smell of fresh concrete. I thought it was amazing how something started as a plan on paper and became real.
That's fascinating. So your uncle's work helped you see architecture in real life.
Exactly. I asked him many questions. He showed me blueprints and said, "These are like maps for buildings." I didn't understand much at that age, but it looked magical.
It's wonderful that you had someone in your family who gave you that early inspiration.
Yes, I think small moments like that make a big difference. My parents gave emotional support, and my uncle gave me curiosity about how buildings work.
That combination sounds perfect. Love and inspiration.
Yes, and I also had great teachers. My art teacher, like I said before, was one of the first people to say, you could be an architect. She always encouraged creativity.
Teachers can really change lives.
Absolutely. She told me, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every design begins with trying. That lesson stayed with me, even now in my job.
That's such an important message for everyone, to try, even if it's not perfect.
Yes, many people wait for the perfect time to start. But in design and in life, you just start and learn as you go.
I like that. So your family and teachers really helped you believe in yourself.
They did. Without them, I don't think I would have studied architecture. They gave me the courage to follow my dream, even when it looked difficult.
That's inspiring, Laura. It's so important for young people to hear that, how family support can shape your confidence and dreams.
I agree. Even a few kind words can stay in your heart for years.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Laura.
Thank you.
Laura, you mentioned that your teachers inspired you when you were young. What were your school years like?
Oh, they were full of good memories. I liked school a lot, especially art and science. I wasn't great at math in the beginning, but when I understood how numbers help in design, I started to enjoy it more.
That's interesting. So even back then, you were already connecting school subjects to your dream.
Yes, a little. My teachers were very kind. My art teacher, Mrs. Jenkins, always told me, Laura, don't stop drawing. She believed that imagination was as important as studying. I think that's why I stayed creative.
It's great when teachers see something special in you.
Exactly. I remember one school project. We had to build something with paper and glue, like a small bridge or a house. Most students made simple boxes, but I built a small town. I made roads, trees, and even tiny people.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, my classmates were surprised. My teacher said, "You really think like an architect." I was so proud. That moment made me feel confident for the first time.
It must have been a wonderful feeling.
It was. I think I was around 10 years old. I didn't understand much about architecture, but I knew I loved to create things.
Did you like all subjects at school?
Not really. I liked drawing, art, and science, but I didn't like history very much. I always wanted to build things, not just read about the past.
I understand. So school is fun, but also the place where your dream became clearer.
Yes. Also, I had one friend who wanted to be an engineer. We used to play together after school and build houses with Lego blocks. We talked about how we would build a city one day.
That's so sweet. Do you still keep in touch with that friend?
Yes, sometimes. He actually became an engineer. We laugh about it now and say, we made it.
That's a great story. It's funny how things we do as kids can become our real jobs later in life.
Yes, it's true. School was full of small experiences that led me here. Kind teachers, fun projects, supportive friends. All of it helped me love design even more.
That's beautiful. It sounds like you always had creativity inside you, and school just gave it space to grow.
I think so. I'm really grateful for those years. They were simple, but very important.
Thank you for sharing that, Laura. It's always nice to hear how childhood and school memories connect to our dreams.
Thank you, Ryan. It's nice to remember them.
So, Laura, let's talk about the first time you worked as an architect. How did it all start?
It started right after I finished university. I was so excited and a little scared. I got an internship at a small architecture office in my city. It was my first real experience in the professional world.
That must have been exciting. What was your first day like?
Oh, I remember it very well. I arrived early, maybe too early. I wore my best clothes and carried my notebook everywhere. Everyone in the office was busy, drawing and talking about projects. I felt a little lost at first.
I think that happens to many people on their first day.
Yes, my boss asked me to print some drawings and prepare them for a client meeting. I was so nervous that I printed the wrong version. Luckily, he laughed and said, "Don't worry, Laura, it happens to everyone."
That's a good boss.
Yes, he was very kind. After that, I started to learn how to use design software, how to organize plans, and how to talk with clients. Every day was new and full of small lessons.
What was the first project you worked on?
It was a small coffee shop. I helped design the interior, where the tables, lights, and counter would go. I also learned about color combinations and materials. Seeing the final place open to the public was such a special moment for me.
That sounds amazing. You must have felt proud seeing your work become real.
I did. I remember walking inside after it opened and thinking, I helped make this. It was a simple project, but it felt like a big success.
I can imagine that feeling.
Of course, there were funny moments too. Once I spilled coffee on a printed blueprint right before a client meeting. I was so embarrassed.
Oh no. What did you do?
I quickly printed another copy and hoped nobody would notice. My boss said, "That's one way to add character to the plan."
That's a great attitude. It's nice when people make mistakes feel less scary.
Yes, it made me more relaxed. I learned that mistakes are part of the process. You just have to stay calm and learn from them.
That's a good lesson for everyone.
I also remember how kind my colleagues were. They helped me learn faster. Sometimes we stayed late working on 3D models or presentations. It was hard work, but I loved every minute.
It sounds like a great start to your career.
Yes, it really was. I learned that architecture is not only about drawing, but also about teamwork. You need communication, patience, and creativity every day.
That's so true, Laura. And I think every profession teaches us more than just skills. It teaches us how to work with people.
Exactly. Architecture is full of teamwork. You work with engineers, designers, and clients. You learn to listen and to explain your ideas clearly.
That's such a good point, Laura. So, your first step into the profession was a mix of learning, mistakes, and excitement.
Yes, and I wouldn't change a thing. It was the best way to start.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing your first experiences.
Thank you, Ryan.
Laura, I'm very curious. What is a normal day like for an architect?
Well, every day is a little different, but I'll tell you about a typical one. My day starts early, around 7:30 a.m. I like to drink coffee and check my emails before I go to the office.
So you like to start your day calmly?
Yes, I do. I need a quiet moment before the busy hours begin. At 9 a.m., I'm usually at the office. The first thing I do is look at my schedule. I plan my tasks, meetings, design work, and sometimes site visits.
Do you often visit construction sites?
Yes, but not every day. Maybe once or twice a week. I like going there because I can see how our designs become real. It's always interesting to watch workers build something that started as a drawing on my computer.
That must feel great, seeing your ideas come to life.
Yes, it really does. But most of the time, I stay in the office. I spend many hours designing on my computer, drawing plans, and checking details. I also have meetings with engineers and clients.
So your job is not just about drawing, it's about communication too.
Exactly. Many people think architects only draw buildings, but we also talk a lot. We explain our ideas, listen to others, and make sure everything works well together.
That sounds like teamwork is very important in your job.
It is. I work with a small team, 2 other architects, 1 interior designer, and an engineer. We share ideas and help each other. Sometimes we argue a little about designs, but it's always friendly.
That's normal. A bit of creative discussion.
Yes, everyone has different opinions, and that's what makes it fun. Around lunchtime, we all eat together in the office kitchen. It's nice because we talk about movies, hobbies, or travel, not just work.
That sounds like a great office atmosphere.
It is. After lunch, we usually have client meetings or continue designing. Sometimes I go to the construction site in the afternoon to check progress. I take photos and notes to show the team.
That sounds busy but rewarding.
It is. My day usually ends around 6 p.m., but sometimes if there's a big deadline, we stay longer. I don't mind it because I love what I do.
That's great to hear. It's always easier to work hard when you enjoy your job.
Yes, that's true. At the end of the day, I feel tired but proud. When I see a design growing step by step, it gives me energy for the next day.
That's inspiring, Laura. It's nice to hear how passion and routine can work together.
Thank you, Ryan. Every day is a mix of creativity, teamwork, and patience. And that's what I love most about architecture.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing a look into your daily life as an architect.
My pleasure, Ryan.
Laura, your job sounds really interesting, but I'm sure it's not always easy. What are some of the biggest challenges you face as an architect?
Oh yes, there are many challenges. One of the hardest parts is time. We always have deadlines. Sometimes a project that needs 2 weeks must be finished in 5 days.
That sounds stressful.
It is, but it also teaches you how to work fast and focus. Another challenge is when clients change their minds too often. You design something, and then they say, actually, can we make it bigger or smaller or a different color?
Oh no, that must be difficult.
Yes, you have to stay patient. Sometimes you spend hours designing one room, and then it's changed completely the next day. But I learned that communication helps. When clients understand the process, they become more realistic.
That's a good point. Communication really makes a difference.
Yes, another big challenge is coordination. Architects work with many people, engineers, builders, interior designers. Everyone has their own opinion. Sometimes it's hard to make everyone agree.
That sounds like a big part of your job. Not only design, but teamwork too.
Exactly. You need to be flexible and listen carefully. If you only think your way is right, the project won't move forward.
I can imagine. But I guess there are also funny or light moments that make the stress easier.
Oh, yes. There are many funny moments. Once, during a meeting, my pen fell on the floor. And when I picked it up, I hit my head on the table. Everyone started laughing, including me. It broke the tension in the room.
That's great. Laughter can fix anything.
Yes. And one time, during a site visit, I wore the wrong shoes. It was raining, and I stepped into wet concrete. My shoes were stuck, and my team had to pull me out. It was so embarrassing.
Oh no. Did they take photos?
Of course they did. I still hear jokes about it today. But, these moments make work more human. We all make mistakes, and laughing about them helps us bond as a team.
That's such a good attitude. I think it's important to have humor at work.
Definitely. If you take everything too seriously, you'll get stressed all the time. Architecture can be stressful, but it's also full of beautiful, funny, and creative moments.
I love that perspective. Balance between hard work and joy.
Yes, that's how I see it. Every project has problems, but it also has funny stories that we remember for years.
That's wonderful, Laura. It sounds like even the challenges help you grow and enjoy your work more.
Exactly. Every challenge teaches something new, and every laugh makes the day brighter.
That's a great way to look at it. Thank you for sharing those stories.
Thank you, Ryan.
Laura, we've talked about the challenges of your job. Now let's talk about the good part. What do you love most about being an architect?
Oh, there are so many things I love. First, I love creating something new. Every project starts as a small idea, just a sketch on paper, and then it becomes a real building. That transformation makes me feel proud.
That sounds amazing, to see your ideas become real.
Yes, it's like watching your imagination come to life. When I see people using the spaces I designed, sitting in a cafe I helped plan, or walking through a building I worked on. I feel happy. It's like giving something back to the world.
That's beautiful. So your work really connects to people's lives.
Exactly. Architecture is not only about buildings, it's about people. We create places where people live, work, and spend time with their families. Making those spaces comfortable and beautiful is very special.
That's a wonderful way to see it.
I also love that my job is never boring. Every project is different. Sometimes I design a small house, sometimes an office, sometimes a school. Each one has new problems to solve and new ideas to try.
So it keeps your mind active and creative.
Yes, creativity is one of the best parts. I enjoy thinking of new designs, playing with light, colors, and shapes. Even a small change can make a big difference in how people feel in a space.
That's interesting, how design affects emotions.
Yes, a bright room can make you feel happy. A cozy corner can make you feel safe. Architecture can change moods, and that's powerful.
I've never thought of it that way, it makes perfect sense.
Another reason I love my job is teamwork. I like working with different people, engineers, artists, builders. Everyone adds something to the project. It's like putting puzzle pieces together.
That's a great comparison. A building is like a big puzzle made by many hands.
Exactly. And when everything fits, it's such a good feeling. I also love learning. Technology keeps changing, and there's always something new. New materials, new tools, new designs. That keeps me excited.
So you never stop learning.
Never. I think that's why I still love what I do. There's always a chance to grow and to get better.
That's inspiring, Laura. Many people dream of a job they love as much as you love yours.
I'm lucky, I think. Of course, there are hard days, but when I see the result of my work, it makes everything worth it.
That's wonderful. It's clear that you're passionate about what you do.
Thank you. I believe when you love your job, it shows in your work. People can feel it.
That's true, and your positive energy really comes through.
Thank you, Ryan. I hope more people find jobs that make them feel happy and proud, just like architecture does for me.
I'm sure your words will inspire many listeners. Thank you for sharing what makes your job so special.
Thank you.
Laura, many of our listeners are young people who are thinking about their future careers. What advice would you give them?
That's a great question, Ryan. My first advice is simple. Choose something you truly enjoy. Don't pick a career just because someone else says it's good or safe. If you love what you do, you'll work hard and still be happy.
That's so true. Passion makes everything easier.
Exactly. For architecture, I'd say, be curious. Look around you. Notice how buildings make you feel. Every wall, every window, every color has a purpose. If you start observing things, you'll begin to think like an architect.
That's a nice way to start. Seeing the world with new eyes.
Yes, and don't be afraid of hard work. Architecture looks glamorous, but it takes patience, practice, and long hours. You'll make mistakes, but every mistake teaches you something valuable.
I think that applies to every job. Mistakes are part of learning.
Exactly. Another thing I want to say is never stop learning. Even after university, keep exploring new ideas, technologies, and designs. The world changes fast, and creativity grows when your mind stays open.
That's great advice. Do you think teamwork is also important for young architects?
Very important. Architecture is not a solo job. You must learn to listen, share ideas, and respect others. Sometimes your design isn't chosen, and that's okay. It's part of the process.
That's a good lesson. Not taking rejection personally.
Yes, because one idea might not work today, but another one will tomorrow. Keep trying. Stay humble and positive. Those qualities will take you far.
I like that. What about students who aren't sure what to study yet?
I'd tell them, try different things. Volunteer, join clubs, travel if you can. Talk to people in different jobs. You don't have to know everything now. Life will show you what feels right.
That's very comforting advice.
I think pressure makes people forget that careers grow slowly. It's okay to change paths or discover your dream later. What matters is doing something meaningful.
Wise words, Laura. You make it sound like choosing a job is also choosing a lifestyle.
Yes, it is. Architecture became a big part of my life. But even if you're not an architect, find something that makes you wake up with energy. Work will fill a big part of your life, so make it something you love.
That's a great message.
Thank you, Ryan. I really hope young people take their time, explore, and follow their hearts. Success will come naturally after that.
I'm sure our listeners will find that inspiring. Thank you for sharing your advice, Laura.
Thank you, Ryan.
Laura, we've talked a lot about your journey as an architect. Let's look ahead now. How do you see the future of architecture?
I think the future will be very exciting. Technology is changing everything: how we design, how we build, even how we live in buildings. I believe we'll see more smart homes, eco-friendly materials, and creative spaces that help people feel better.
That sounds amazing. Can you give an example of what eco-friendly means in architecture?
Sure, it means building in a way that helps the planet. For example, using solar panels for energy, collecting rainwater, or using materials that don't harm the environment. Green roofs and big windows for natural light are also great ideas.
So, in the future, buildings might be better for both people and nature.
Exactly. I think that's the direction we're going. We can't just design beautiful buildings, they also need to be sustainable.
I love that idea. Do you think technology will make your job easier or harder?
Both, actually. New tools make designing faster and more creative. For example, 3D printers can create building models in a few hours, and computer programs can show how sunlight moves through a room. But we also need to keep learning. Technology changes so fast.
That's true. Keeping up must be a challenge.
Yes, but it's also fun. I like learning new ways to work. I think AI tools will help us explore more ideas quickly, but creativity will still come from humans. Machines can help us, but they can't feel emotion, and architecture is full of emotion.
That's a great point. The human touch is always important.
Exactly. A building is not just walls and windows. It's a place where people live, laugh, and dream. That's something no computer can fully understand.
Well said. What about your own future, Laura? What are your personal goals?
I'd like to start my own small studio one day, a place where I can work on creative projects and help young designers grow. I also want to design a school, a bright, modern place where children feel happy to learn.
That's a beautiful dream. A school designed by someone who loves creativity. I can imagine it already.
Thank you, Ryan. I also want to travel more. Seeing buildings in different countries always gives me new ideas.
Travel and architecture? Perfect combination.
Yes, every city has its own character. When you walk through old streets or see modern towers, you learn so much about culture and people. I hope I can keep exploring that.
You sound very positive about the future.
I am. Of course, the world is changing fast, but I think architecture will always have a strong purpose to make people's lives better. That's why I feel hopeful.
That's inspiring. I'm sure our listeners can feel your optimism.
I hope so. The future is full of opportunities. We just need to be curious, creative, and kind. That's the real foundation of good design.
Beautifully said, Laura. Thank you for sharing your vision for the future.
Thank you, Ryan. It's been a pleasure talking about it.
Laura, this has been such a wonderful conversation. Thank you for sharing your story and your experiences as an architect.
Thank you, Ryan. I really enjoyed talking about my journey. It reminded me why I love what I do.
You've shared so much, from your childhood dreams to your daily life and even your hopes for the future. I think our listeners learned a lot.
I hope so. Architecture is not just my job. It's my passion. I'm happy if I could inspire even one person today.
I'm sure you did. Before we end, let's quickly review 5 important words that came up in our conversation. 1. Blueprint. A detailed plan or technical drawing used by architects and engineers to design buildings. 2. Sustainable. Something that does not harm the environment and can be continued for a long time. 3. Creativity, the ability to use imagination to make or design something new and original. 4. Deadline, a specific time or date by which a task or project must be completed. 5. Teamwork, when people work together toward a common goal in a positive and cooperative way.
Great list. These are all useful words for anyone interested in work, design, or creativity.
Yes, and they all connect to real life, not just architecture.
Absolutely. Well, Laura, thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you to everyone listening to Learn English 365. Keep learning, stay curious, and never stop dreaming.
Perfectly said. Until next time, everyone, keep improving your English with Learn English 365.